Welcome back to Gaming Assembled. Today is part 1 of our CK3 A Game of Thrones House Forrester series. Thank you for joining us. Before we start, we'd love to hear from you. So like, comment and subscribe to the channel and interact with us on social media. And thank you to The Real Jeebus and Nick Nader for subscribing already. Let's get started. Okay, so welcome back to Westeros, and welcome to the second series that we're doing on CK3 A Game of Thrones. Now, this has come from a request from the comments. I am doing my Sarwick campaign, which is obviously down in the Westerlands, and I had a request if I do a series up in the north as House Forrester. And since I'm absolutely loving this mod, I'm really enjoying it, and I can't really get enough of it, I thought, why not? We'll do it now. I was thinking of originally doing it later on, but I thought, well, why not? We'll do it now. So that's what we're going to start with. This will be our second series up here. We'll add it to the list of series we've got going on the channel. And we'll probably try and get one episode out a week, something like that for this one. Same for House Sarwick. If I can do more, I'll do more, but I don't want to get too far ahead because I really want to try and integrate your comments and things into what we do. So obviously do please consider commenting on the videos, give us your ideas for the role play of things as we go forward. So, as I said, we are going to role play this, same as we always do. So let's dive in, let's get cracking. So, let's have a look at our character then. So, Lord Thorin the Bold of Ironrath. Okay, so of House Forrester. So, we are well and truly in the north. Okay, specifically, we are in the Wolfswood area. And so, as you can see, the Glovers are our liege lords. And obviously, they in turn are beneath the Starks. And the Forresters are, from I suppose the canon, from the the information that's out there about them, they are quite loyal to the Starks. They've sided with them. They also are interesting in that they have this sort of rivalry with their neighbours, the House Whitehill, and the idea is that it's supposed to be over these things, the ironwood trees, which I don't know if all of these are supposed to be ironwood trees or just some of them or what, but the idea is that in terms of the lore of it, as I say, the rivalry between the two houses is sort of stemmed from those, that the Foresters control the vast majority of the ironwood trees that are out there, and although the White Hills had some, they've chopped them down and basically now want more. And so this is the idea that the Foresters have got loads of them and they haven't, is sort of the source of this this conflict between them. So obviously we're going to look to try and keep that that feud as part of our story. Obviously, there you go. You can see there that he's our rival, and there's a house feud. So minus 25 to our his opinion of us. So there we go. So our starting position then. So let's have a look at our character. So Lord Thorin the Bold of Ironrath. He is trusting. He is impatient. He is authoritative, Midas touched, and an architect. So he's all about the stewardship sort of skill set. I mean, he's not an amazing steward, but he's not a slouch either. He's pretty good. He's got some, he's got a very good educational trait and things, but he's all about looking after his lands. He wants things his own way, so he's authoritative, and ideally he wants it done yesterday. I think when you're on his side, when you're someone who works with him, he'll trust you. He'll, keep you safe. He'll do his duty, or as if it was one of his vassals, for example. So, someone like this guy, the Tuttles and the what was the other name of the other ones? There we go, the De Gores. That's it. They're the two sort of main houses that serve him. He'll be loyal to them. He'll guard them. He'll protect them. They're his people, and he will do things to support them and things because that's who he is. That's his duty as the Lord of Ironrath. So that is sort of where the sort of stance we're going to be coming from. We believe in the old gods. So honourable, honour, generosity, honesty, bravery. These are all sort of what people aspire to be in the North. I don't think we've got any of those particular traits. We don't, so we're perhaps not the best sort of servant of the old gods. We're not, the most pious of people or whatever. But neither are we sort of in the sinful category either. We're somewhere safely in between, I suppose, which perhaps gives us a little bit of, a little bit of flexibility with our viewpoint on the world and on the Game of Thrones. So there's that. Culturally, we are Wolfswood clansmen. So hunting. So obviously this idea of rivalry sort of feeds into that. The eye for an eye feeds into the idea of this rivalry between us and our neighbours. Obviously forest fighters, because obviously there's lots of trees. That would make a lot of sense. And forest folk just in general. So there's advantages there in terms of construction and things like that. Development and things. And obviously the military side of things. And in deepest depths. So what does that give us? Loyal is more common. Alliance, negotiation, acceptance. So there's certain diplomatic advantages there as well. Based on this idea of, people banding together and being of a similar disposition. So First Man heritage as well. There we go. So there's quite a bit of culture there that we can try and pay attention to as we go. We're not the head of our culture. That would be our liege lord. But there we go. Let's have a look at our family. So we are married. Well, we are 66. So we're getting towards the end of our life. And our wife, who is also 66, she, in many ways, is similar to us, authoritative, paranoid, just more of a scholarly focus, although not perhaps the most learned of people, but that's interesting. She has a claim on the lordship of Timberwatch, which is just there. So that might be something that we could consider. So she is the sister of the Lord of Timberwatch. Now, we don't have an alliance, but we could negotiate one. So whether that's something we do, I don't know. We can have a look at that. That might be an interesting thing to do. I suppose, again, loyalty to family, things like that. I don't think we're necessarily a warlike, a warlike leader, a warlike lord. So, trusting his family, I suppose, through marriage. So maybe we'd have the alliance with them rather than try and use that claim. But I don't know. We shall see. What type of claim is it? It's a suppressed claim. So it will get passed on, I believe, to our son, who is Gregor the Good Forrester. So he is 32. He is very much the military man. So, he's more focused on war and on combat and on prowess. He is more of a fighter than we are, certainly. And he has two sons himself, our grandchildren, who seem to be following in his footsteps. At least that one is. Let's have a look at this one. This one, more of a thinker. So he's been moulded to one day lead the realm, whereas he's, I suppose, potentially being moulded to be more in a supporting role. And so, have we got a educate child? There we go. I think perhaps give him to our son, because he's looking at more of a military thing. We're not that way inclined, so perhaps give him to his father to be his Guardian. I suppose we could give this one. We could assign him. I mean, he's still quite young. We'll give him another couple of years before we start looking which education focus to go down, unless the game does it for us. It may well assign a trait for us before then, but I always like to try and wait till they're about 6 before we start looking at that, just to give their personalities a little bit of time to come out and develop. So that's our family anyway. Let's have a quick look at our liege before we go any further. So, excuse me. So, Master Benton of Wolfswood. So he is, stats-wise, quite a little bit more impressive than we are. He's certainly quite a bit more of a leader, scholar, and things. He's not got, he's not without his downsides as from I suppose a religious perspective, but the one thing that you can notice straight away that's quite important is he's over his domain limit. So what he's going to do, he controls all of this, and he has got, let's see, where are all these lands? So we've got there. So he's got quite a lot of land that's under him directly. So he's going to want to get rid of some of that. So we'll have to see what he does. He is allied with the Mormonts over on Bear Island. Okay. So I think he can be our first pin on the board. I think we've got to have our rivals as a pin. I think next door. Alright, so that is ruled directly by him. This side. Well, he, again, I mean, there's nothing massively special about him. He looks to be more military focused as a vassal. I don't think we have a particular relationship with him with the looks of things, but he's our direct neighbour, so again, we'll pin him onto our board as well. And I think that's all the local people we need to pin, apart, of course, from the Starks. So obviously they very much deserve to be pinned on, Lord Eddard specifically. And I suppose while we're at it, just to keep an eye on the wider the wider goings on. Obviously, we're in the, we are in the Robert's Rebellion sort of bookmark of the two. So he is still there. He's too far away to interact with, but that doesn't matter. So we're going to pin all the sort of standard main characters on. I suppose we could do these as well. They're a bit far away. Obviously, then we're not really going to be interacting with the Reach and with Dawn all that much, but there we go. We'll pin all those on as well. So we've got all the Lords Paramount, apart from the Islands. There we go. We've got all the Lords Paramount on there. I suppose the one that we could do, not too far, is of course the Black Watch. There we go. We could pin them on as well. And so there we go. So we've got all our main characters pinned on. That's a lot of people, I know, but it'll give us things that pop up and allow us to keep an eye on what's going on in the wider world. And that obviously can influence the progression of our story. So let's start then. So let's start with, as ever, requesting a Maester. Okay, we haven't got one. We need one. It's a good idea. And in terms of our focus, as I said, we are very much more to do with the steward side of things. We've completed this tree, it would seem. So we need to look at another. So, which one would we go for? So, wealth, I mean, we are Midas Touch, so maybe wealth focus might be suitable for us. Domain focus, I don't think we're massively focused on the land as such. We're not massively expansionist. I mean, that's not saying we're not going to expand, but I think out of these, the wealth focus, given our education trait, given that we are Midas touched, there we go. Followed by success after success in the art of stewardship, displaying an indisputable mastery of the art. So I think go with that and things. We'll go with the wealth focus to go from there. let's have a look at what we control. Obviously, we have the Lordship of Ironrath, so that's the overall thing. And we have the province of Blackgrove, which is a city, I believe. Yes, it is. It's a city holding, so it's not something that we want to be holding directly. So we need to find someone to give that to. So let's have a quick look at our council. We have our son as our Castellan. So what can we get him doing? We've got a choice of Oversea Realm. So this will improve our diplomacy. Or our Marshal. Well, I mean, he is very Marshal focused as a person. So I think perhaps that's what we would do. We'd want to use our sons. We're all about using resources efficiently. We are, as I say, Midas touched. We're all about stewardship. And using resources efficiently is, I think, something that we as a character would do. And so we'd want to perhaps do that. Fortifying defences, maybe. Yeah, maybe we would. But I don't know. Stick with that one for now. We can look at defences and things maybe later on. So let's have a look. So this is one of our vassals. So she has the province of Bushcade. So this is a barony, castle holding. So it's only a small castle looking at things, but this is her. She is not a very good chancellor, to be honest. She's obviously more of a learning focus. So what I might be tempted to do is perhaps make her something like a court tutor or something like that. Something of that nature anyway. I don't think... Can we do that? No, there isn't a court tutor on here. But, you know, maybe... Let's see. Is there anything that she'd be particularly good at? Rather than keeping her as our... rather than keeping her as our Chancellor, which she's not particularly good at, could we give her a different role? So, I'm not really sure, really. I mean, in some ways, I don't like the idea of replacing her, really. You know, the idea that obviously we're loyal and things, you know, we're loyal to our people, and, you know, she is one of our vassals. So I'm not really sure as to what's the best course. I think for now I might leave her where she is, just from that perspective. But I mean, I'm also aware of the fact that obviously, number one, she's rubbish in that role. And number two, we are, as a character, obviously we are about, we're about resource management. We are stewardship focused, and having a chancellor who is not up to the task, I'm not quite sure that would fit with that, but I don't know, we shall see. Again, our Marshal isn't particularly good, but, you know, there are, you know, there you go, he's a de Gore. There are others who I think, you know, if I click on this, you know, for example, him, who is, I presume, a nephew. He doesn't look to be one of the sons. He could be a grandson, I suppose, but let's have a look at the de Gore. Yes, so he's a nephew. He would be a better Marshal, but where is he? There he is. You know, I mean, he's 58. He will have gone back a long way with our, you know, with our character. We'll have known them since probably boyhood. I don't think he'd cast aside his friend, perhaps, you know, something like that. You know, this, again, I'm leaning on the trusting idea of things. You know, so I think whether or not it makes sense, you know, we are authoritative as well, so what we say goes. So I think we'll leave the council as it is. There we go, that one, for now, and see how we go. I'll probably swap him to that, though, just to train commanders, because we've probably not got an abundance of knights. We've got a couple, and what I'm keen to do is to reward the people that we've got, you know, with, you know, however we can. So, I mean, let's have a quick look at the family trees of our people. So, right, so this is, so Lord Duncan, who is, as I say, our steward. His brother is one of our captains. So, you know, he is someone who we could perhaps reward with a position moving forward, perhaps. I suppose that family really sort of reminds me of sort of like the castles for the Starks, you know, sort of, you know, that sort of mentality. And likewise with the De Gauls, you know, they're sort of integrated into the realm, really. They're one of the families that we're loyal to. So I think, you know, if we can find somebody who would be worthy of giving this city to, that would be useful. I mean, we've not got anyone who is particularly stewardship focused. I would imagine it to be better to have someone stewardship focused to have a city, but we've not really got anyone like that, so perhaps we'll look at giving it to someone who we know and trust through you know, through our vassals. I mean, I think out of the two, I'd probably go with him, because his stewardship is slightly better. So maybe we'll give that to him then. So we'll do that now. Grant title, there we go, and we want Black Grove even. So we'll give that to you, and so you are now our vassal and the mayor of that town. So there we go. I do want to reward the other chap though, give him a role. So what I'm thinking is perhaps make him captain of the guard, because he'd be excellent for that role. That's another reason for me choosing the other guy for that other one, because he wouldn't have been as good for this. So make him captain of the guard, and that will work lovely. And I think that's pretty much all the main characters, all the main sort of courtiers and people that we've got involved in our realm, and that's good. Don't think there's anyone else. No, they're just others. They're just people, lowborns and things, I think, who are not really integrated in quite the same way. So, I think we've set everything up. We've set up our council. I don't think there's any particular decisions to be taken. Meditate at Weirwood. We can do that. Cost of 8. So what does that give us? Regardless of faith, few places in the world come close to matching the heart of God's wood in terms of tranquility and otherworldly solitude. Perhaps I should visit the Heart Tree for some guidance. Well, at the start of our campaign, why ever not? The Heart Tree. Regardless of faith, few places in the world. Right, that's just what I've just read. This is no mere relaxing garden to stroll through. The old gods hold sway here. As I approach the Heart Tree, I desire nothing more than blessing of the divines, even, so that we get some piety for that, and fertility blessing, and we can potentially also gain a pet cat. Now, I don't think we particularly need a fertility blessing. We're an old man. Our wife is past childbearing. I don't think there's any point in that. Good health. Well, that might be a good one. Again, given that we're a bit old. Get a bit of a health bonus. Calm. So we get the calm trait. Don't think we particularly... That would be us, you know. And guidance. Well, so I would say either good health or guidance. I think given that we're only right at the very beginning, we'll go with good health, considering we are 66. And that might help us a little bit to get going with this character. So I think on that note, let's get started, and we will see where we go from here. New Maester of Ironrath. The Maester I sent for from the Citadel has arrived in Ironrath, a Reachman by the name of Walgrave. Let's hope he will be loyal and wise. So, Maester, Physician, yeah, decent skills, bit of a temper, doesn't like us all that much. Let's try and make him like us a bit more. Nope, don't want to sway him. Don't send him a gift, I want to sway him. There we go, we'll do that. Good, excellent. So, let's carry on. What will be interesting to see is how... there we go. Is how he dishes out his excess lands, and what he's done is he's given this land here to Lord Galbert of Moorwood. Now, what I'm thinking with this character, given that we are authoritative and impatient, is that although we are under our liege, ultimately, perhaps, maybe we don't want to be. You know, we like calling the shots. We like saying what we think. Although we're not a particularly warlike character, and I don't think it's particularly part of who we are as a family, a dynasty, you know, in particular. It's not something we're famous for. Then what? You know, we are still authoritative. We want to be in charge. We want to be the boss. And we can't do that if we have a liege. You know, yes, obviously we're going to always have a liege. You know, we're going to serve the Starks, and that's fine. But this is our realm. And what I notice is that we are not actually the de jure, or de jure, I'm not sure which way around you say it. The Blackwoods, the Glovers even, are not our de jure liege. We are not supposed to be under Wolfwood. We are actually part of the Black Pines, which is us, our neighbours, and we've got some land here to the south of us, which I think is, again, the Glovers. That one's owned by the Starks themselves. So, and this one again, the Glovers. So, what we could look at doing, now that there are some other people around us who, I suppose, strictly speaking, no, hang on, he's under the, which one's he under? Oh yes, it is, there you go. So he must have other titles elsewhere. Sorry, I'm getting myself confused. Yes, he's got 2 titles, him. So it's not his primary title, but he's got that one there, and these are under the Glovers. So I think what we start to do perhaps is we look at trying to build our realm of authority, and this is how we would perhaps press our advantage over over our rivals. We want to be in charge of them. You know, we don't want to be equal terms. We want to be in charge of them, and things, and to lay down the law as we see it. That's part of our feud. If we can be the High Lord, sounds good. So I think that's where we begin then. So, I mean, we have quite a lot more men than these other areas. So let's... oh, hang on. I've just had a thought. With our council. I'd not thought about the seer. Now our seer here, so this is a separate line altogether. Our seer is a lay seer, isn't she? She's not a septum from like it is further south. So what we could do is we could make her our seer, and that then frees up, obviously, this person here is just a lowborn. She's no one of any significance. So this frees up this one here, and so we could make him our Chancellor, which is still not amazing, or we could go for someone else. But I think we go with him because he's now our vassal and we're loyal to people, but it gives us a slightly better Chancellor, which is good. But anyway, yes, I'd forgotten about that. But let's set her off getting a claim on surrounding territory. I don't think, from an authoritative perspective, we would have a problem with that. It's our rightful part of our rightful sort of de jure duchy, so to speak, high lordship, and we should have it because we're the Foresters. You know, we're here. This is us, and the woods, forests are our domain. It's what we do. So let's go with that. I think that's a reasonable rationale for doing it. We're getting some additional taxes. Excellent. So yeah, we can look at doing that, and that will hopefully allow us to gain a little bit of power to exert our authority. To the Perceptive Thorin, I have been corresponding with your Chancellor, Master Askan, and I must say that I have come to see you in new light. Perhaps you are even someone that I one day would be proud to call my friend. And so who is this? This is our neighbour on this side. Okay, well that's nice. I mean, I don't think we have anyone who we can arrange an alliance through. You know, our grandsons are a little bit young for all that yet, but we go from there. So we're swaying people, we're improving the knights, but his neighbour certainly one to keep an eye on. He seems all right. Right, so she our seer, who is pregnant. She has delivered with the claim, so we'll see that done. And we can start this campaign with a war. So he's allied himself to, it's his brother, who is to our south, so they've got us in a bit of a pincer. However, they're both not particularly strong. So I'm not too worried about it. So we're going to go with that. Oh, we need some more prestige. Let's do that first. So let's go for a hunt. We'll go for a hunt in the woods, and then we'll go from there. So, bounding through the Tiger Bog, I am gaining on the flighty hart that I've been chasing for hours. Just as I prepare to strike, I hear my marshal, Lord Desmond, cry out in pain. He has fallen and is now clutching his leg. I will tend to him, or no time to waste. Well, we get prestige that way, but I think, you know, as I said, we're loyal to our friends, so I think we would tend to him. And the hunt is drawing to an end. We mount our horses, leave the Tiger Bog behind, as the light fades from the sky. Everything that could go wrong seemed to do so, but there were silver linings to be found, and so we've got some more prestige, and that would, I think, give us enough now for us to declare our war. So we'll go from that. Let's slow this down a little bit. We will raise our forces, and let's go march north through the woods and take Morewood. Help if I imposed it. There we go. So deal with his forces, because that's the, although they've got us surrounded, if he does call in his ally, which he's just done, obviously they're, you know, fairly far apart. So there we go. So we're sieging down already. We've beaten his forces. I don't think there's going to be much that his brother can do. Oh, they'll be coming from over here, aren't they, his primary holdings? So 500 men, pretty much. They're coming in, but I don't think there's much they're going to be able to do. We should be able to fight them off. He's coming back with his 188 men, but too little too late. Royland's been captured. And we've captured some combatants too. So just this guy, Mark, who has lost a leg. Well, I mean, he'd be someone perhaps worth recruiting. He's got a good stewardship skill, but again, would we do that is the question. You know, would we want to, would we be bothered about recruiting him? Would we care about him either way? Probably not, I don't think. And so the bells ring. Let it be known far and wide, from Westeros to Essos and the lands beyond, that the mad king Aerys II Targaryen has perished. King's Landing has fallen, taking the ruling Targaryen dynasty with it. A la Morghulis. Okay, so we've now got the crowned stag. King Robert has taken his throne. Okay. So, we're going to finish. Oh, we've got various people that have died on our pinned board. So, Aerys is gone. Rhaegar is gone. Is there anyone left of the Targaryens? One living member. So, he's up on the wall. Yes. So, he's the only member of the Targaryen dynasty left. And obviously he's not going to do anything because he's a black brother, of course. So the Targaryens are finished, basically. Prince Doran of Dorne, how did he die? Executed on King Robert of the Iron Throne's orders. So obviously for his support of the Targaryens. So we'll get rid of him off our board and pin his daughter, who is only 8, in his place. And we should also, as well, just for completion, pin on the new Lord of the Stormlands. Has one already been... Oh, maybe he's not given that title away yet. I presume he will do in a minute. Just let it tick through, I guess. But, I'm presuming he'll give it to Stannis, or... Oh, there we go, he has. He has given it to Renly. There we go. So I know that's how it went. Obviously, it didn't go to... Did it go to Stannis? I don't think it did it? He got Dragonstone. That's what he got in the series, but in the lore. But there we go. Right, so we are finishing these off nicely. And what it might be worth us doing actually is, just while that's doing that, move that, we'll look at getting the claim on that one as well. And that's setting us up lovely. So we should be done with this war in a moment. Oh, we haven't got a commander. Give it to our son. He'll take over command. Okay, so I finished reading the latest letter from my courtier Walgrave. So this is our maester. And Smile, he seems to have warmed to me at last. While this is a success, I am tempted to use this opportunity to try and get even closer. This is just a challenge with regards to swaying him. Go on, then we'll put our diplomatic skills to the test, and he appreciates our efforts. So we've well and truly swayed our maester. We don't need to continue with that now. He likes us. We've got a point on here. So meritocracy or golden obligations. I think we'll go this one, administrator. That sort of very much fits with our idea of being, as I say, the stewardship sort of idea of things. Shells from the storm. The skies bode ill. The winds, the wind wails, and my servants shake before the coming maelstrom. An awful day to be travelling the wilderness. Shabby hovels dominate the strange corner of the land, filthy and tiny. We've come upon a lone, half-decent country house, but the dwelling is owned by my foul rival Lud. All right, okay, so he's the White Hill. That's it. He's the lord of the White Hill dynasty. I am being lashed by the mounting storm. Yet all I can feel is the old pain from when Lord Lud of High Point and I became rivals. One way or another, this will be a long night. So, Smiles men. So, any schemes Lord Lud has against you gain 15 success. No, we're not doing that. Our swords will secure shelter. So, we gain stress because we're trusting. No, a hole in the ground would be preferable. I think we have to go with that. I mean, yes, there's potential we gain the trait ill, but I think we have to do that. They're our rivals. We've gained ill, but never mind. We'll trust him to do what is necessary, and we're a little better. So that's good. So we've won our war. Let's see if we can ransom anybody in particular. So we get a little bit of money out of this. So we'll ransom her. And probably the son. I'm guessing he's the son. So he's only got 6 gold left, but there we go. We'll ransom him as well. And wait for that to tick through. And there we go. So that is that war done. And we are a step closer to us exerting our authority over this realm, over this patch of the realm, in accordance with the way we think about things, I think. And so, Admiral. I've not seen this one before. So I suppose this is because we've got a a coastal province, I guess. Something that I've not seen on the Sarwick campaign, because obviously they're landlocked. So, we now need an admiral. Now, I think it has to be Royland de Gore. I don't think there's a reason why we wouldn't. Is he still... No, he's not the captain of our household guard anymore. So we don't have one of them. We don't have anyone who's suitable for that. But I think, yes, I think we definitely do that. Make him our admiral. What can he do? Protect trade. So domain tax improved. Or he can be assigned to scatter fleets. Okay. I think we protect trade. That sounds like a stewardship sort of thing to do. Oh, he's not very good at this. I thought it would be based on a military thing. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, yes it is. So there we go. That's his skill. So I think we're going to have to use him for that, to scatter fleets, because that's what he is. He's more of a military man. It's not based on his... he's not very good as a steward, so we'll go with that and best use his skills according to what we're trying to do. I understand now. We could do with getting married as well. Let's see. Is there anyone... Let's see about bringing... So we want somebody who obviously isn't married already, but they'll all not be married, so that's fine. We could do with someone of our culture, ideally. Is there anyone with an inheritable trait we could bring in? No, there isn't. So, let's see. He's more military focused. What sort of traits has he got? Brave, wrathful, rude. So generous, callous, ruthless. Yeah, I mean, perhaps we get someone to complement his traits rather than someone who's just like him. So zealous, arrogant, trusting. I mean, she's pretty good overall, all round. So yeah, we'll go with her. So she can. There you go. Congratulations, you're now married. We'll look at trying to land him as well when we can, when we find something that we can do. But we have this territory here now, so right on the coast. And what does that give us? Small Godswood. Is there any other interesting options? Trade port, that'd be worth us doing, so we'll add that in. That would suit nicely to try and improve our income. Low counter control in Moorwood. Yep, definitely we can. There we go. We can do that. Ice skaters. Today's is a chilly but otherwise nice day. I've taken a few hours to myself to walk around some of the smaller settlements near my keep, taking in nature and simply enjoying the nice day. As I'm walking, I come upon a frozen pond and see some small folk wondrously skating around on the ice. Their movements are all over the place, many fall on the ice, but some are gliding beautifully. Ah, what a pretty sight. I think I'll sit down here and watch them for a while, so I'll lose some stress. I think I'll join them, possibly gain trait wounded, which we're already ill. And no, it isn't safe, I have to stop them. So, do we see ourselves as an ice skater? I don't think we do. I mean, there's nothing to suggest that we would particularly want to become Torvaldine. There's nothing to suggest that we wouldn't enjoy watching. Perhaps the idea of telling people what to do, though, is more what we would be like. So, although it's giving a negative, maybe that would fit our character a little bit better. We are authoritative and therefore like to be in charge and telling people what to do. So, maybe we go with that. So, there we go. So, I think we've made a good start on this campaign. I mean, I think we'll Ooh, sorry, just before I do that, it's just the standard ones there. I was wondering if there'd be something a little bit more specific to our area. Wetland, farms, forestry. Okay, we'll put some farms in. So there we go. So we made a good start on this campaign, I think. We are going to look at trying to move forward with it. As I say, from a roleplay perspective, looking at, in this character's case, wanting to be the person in charge. You know, we want to be in charge of the realm so we can get one over on our rivals just here, get them under our boots, so to speak. That's very much the priority for us, and taking charge of our own destiny and not being subservient to someone else. That, I think, is the viewpoint that we're going from. And so that we'll continue on with that. We will try and get this last territory down here, and that should then give us enough territory in this High Lordship to, once we've got independence, to be able to claim that. But obviously we'll need to look at going independent first, which is something of an ask because they're quite powerful. So we'd perhaps need to look at having developing some more allies for that. But perhaps for now it's enough just to know that we've got more territory than our rivals. To know that we're more powerful than them. I mean, at the minute we're not, but perhaps that's what's driving us. We have got fewer men, we aren't as strong as our rivals militarily. At best we've only got 1,300, 1, 3, 4, 6 men. He's got more men than us. So us getting more lands, he's trying to balance that score perhaps. So, maybe that's driving us and things in our way forward. And I quite like that role play angle to go from. So, we're going to continue on with that. If you feel that there's a different way we should go or some other aspect we could look at, then obviously do comment and talk to me, and we'll see what you think, and we'll go from there. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get involved in these series. If you haven't checked out my House Sarwick series on Game of Thrones as well, or any of the other campaigns I've got going, on just the vanilla CK3 game, then obviously do check those out on the channel. But otherwise, as I said, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will, as ever, see you in the next one. Take care.